Good evening. Right, hopefully the mic's working. Let me know. Let me know in the chat box if the voice is coming through. It's annoying because every time I plug this mic in, for some reason it acts as a speaker. Then I have to sort of rush around during the last 20 seconds of the intro trying to work out what the hell I've done. Welcome to you, Lenny. Thanks for being here this evening. Terry, welcome to you. Shoraday, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. Adam, and who else we got here? Happers Dappers, welcome to you. Tweeter and the Monkey Man, welcome to you. Yeah, so this evening, quite similar to what we do usually, but this time we're going to take a quick look, I should say, at the following part of Lucy Letby's evidence in chief. So basically, this is when she's being asked questions by her own barrister, Benjamin Myers. Now, I've done about 2 or 3 episodes on this so far, and we've got currently up to where we're about to start from tonight with the Dr. A situation. But previous to that, there was some discussion about her nursing career, what it was like working at the Countess of Chester, all that sort of stuff. And as I say, that's being covered in depth in those previous episodes. So what we'll do is we'll carry on from where that last episode finished. This hasn't been turned into a video at this stage, but it will be in the future. Just haven't got around to recording it yet. But yeah, we'll just carry on from where the last episode finished, basically. Taffy, welcome to you. From the 3021, welcome to you. LKM95, thank you for joining us this evening. Yeah, sorry for the late start. It's been a bit of a hectic day. So I thought I'd jump on, do maybe an hour, and we'll see how we go. I've had a quick read through this earlier on today, and it discusses a little bit regarding the Dr. A situation, some of her searches for the parents on Facebook and her internet use in general. And then also, what else does it discuss? Her searches for the parents, Dr. A. Then there's something else, but it's completely slipped my mind, but we'll get there. Right, okay, so we'll leave it a few more minutes, see if anyone else joins in, and then we'll get started. Hopefully you're all ready for Christmas and you're all sorted out. Yeah, not bad, LKM. Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, just super busy getting stuff ready. And like I said, I thought I'd jump on because I did promise a stream kind of yesterday at the end of yesterday's one. So I thought I'd just jump on, do maybe an hour, and we'll see how we go. Pink Pugs, welcome. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. Patricia Burns, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so it deals with the Dr. A situation, her searches on Facebook, and then basically her social life in general. And then it goes on to discuss her diary entries, some of the notes that she wrote in a little bit more detail. There's some quite interesting parts in there. I think it goes on for about another 40 pages before we get to the first case, which is obviously count 1 with child A. Killer Heels. I'm so sick I had to send the hubby Xmas shopping. Oh dear, that must have been a desperate situation. Sandra, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us this evening. Right, so as I say, let me just make this full screen a second. Let's just zoom it in here. And as I say, the previous episode that I've covered was where it ended up, where it said, how important to you was that support at that time? And she replied, oh, it was very important. They were the only form of support I had, really. So it was basically talking about who Lucy Letby was allowed to speak to after her removal from the unit. That's pretty much where we got up to. So I'll carry on from there. So we got Benjamin Myers. He says the following: Dr. A, who we've seen appearing on various of the texts, when did you first get to know who he was? She replies, so he started on the unit around September 2015. We've seen the text. Lucy replies, yes. How did you get to know one another? She replies, just through working together, and then at times we would then start to meet socially as well. Was it a friendship? She replies, it was, yes. Anything more than a friendship? She replies, no. A close friendship? She replies, yes, he was a trusted friend, yes. Did you ever meet outside hospital? She replies, yes, we did. We've seen that you got a lift back after you'd had a needle stick injury. Yes, I think after treatment for child O. Putting that aside, did you meet outside hospital? You're saying you did. Lucy replies, yes, we did. Where would you meet if you did meet? She replies, sometimes he would come to my house. Sometimes we would go out for meals or coffee or walks. Was there a time when he stopped working at the Countess of Chester neonatal unit? She replies, yes. So he finished working there in September of 2016. All right, that's quite interesting. Where did he go? And then it's redacted. Did you and he stay in touch? She replies, we did, yes. Remain friendly? She replies, yes. And how long did that friendliness continue for? She replies, until the early part of 2018. Then anything in particular happen, or did it just end? She replies, no, it just sort of fizzled out. It was just, fizzled out. All right. Do you like to message people? She replies, yes. Text? Yes. We'll look at some of these as we go along. You might not be you might not be the only person that does that, but so in far as you do you use it for social things? She replies, yes. Work-related issues? Yes. In your experience, how common was it for you and other nurses on the unit to message one another about what was happening at work? She replies, very common. We would all do it at some point, yes. Did you sometimes message when you were at work? She replies, yes. Were you the only person on the unit to do that? She replies, no. All the staff would regularly use their phones whilst at work. Were there any rules about where on the unit they could use their phone, or any practices about where they could use them? She replies, just a general rule would be that we don't use the phone sort of in the clinical areas. In what areas? The clinical areas, so the nurseries, right? Otherwise, at the nurses' station, the equipment rooms, phones would often be used, yes. Benjamin Myers then says, nursing station, equipment room? Lucy replies, yeah. Where else? Lucy replies, break rooms, anywhere outside of the nurseries. Mr. Myers then says, where's the fridge with the insulin with it? She replies, the fridge in the equipment room. Do people go in there then to use their phones? She replies, yes. Was there any way of knowing when somebody was going to go into the equipment room? She replies, no. So that room is a very busy room. It's open all the time for people to come and go and collect equipment. It's also where we would go for refreshments as well. When you say refreshments, what sort of refreshments do you mean? She replies, we're not able to have hot drinks in the nursery. So if you were going to get a coffee or something, you would then take it into the equipment room. So people go in there to get equipment? She replies, yes. Mr. Myers then says, they might go in there and have a hot drink, to have a hot drink. She replies, yes. They might go in there to use their phone. She replies, yes. At any time? She replies, yes. The door is open at all times, yes. With the families who are on the unit, is part of neonatal nursing directed towards enabling families to come onto the unit so they can be with their babies as much as possible? She replies, yes, very much so. Part of our role is to make them inclusive as much as possible with their baby. Mr. Myers then says, what hours can parents, for example, visit their babies? She replies, it's open visiting other than the handover time. So sort of the half hour around shift change, just for privacy really of the other babies. Otherwise they can come at any point. How well can you get to know parents on the unit? She replies, with some families, they can be with us for very long periods of time, and you get to know them extremely well. By very long, do you mean weeks? She replies, we can have babies for months. Right. Obviously, we've looked at the babies in this case who feature on this indictment, but did you have other babies who might be there for weeks or months who were no part of this case? She replies, yes, very often. Would you get to know parents of babies like that? She replies, yes. How close a friendship, if at all, might you have with parents? She replies, I think it's only ever at a professional level when they're on the unit. There have been a couple of occasions where I've kept in touch with families once they've been discharged from the unit. But on the whole, it's a professional relationship. In your knowledge, are you the only nurse who's ever, as you put it, kept in touch with families? She replies, no. Is it something you are aware other staff have done? She replies, yes. Once they've been discharged, yes. Do you stop being interested in them the moment they leave the unit? She replies, no, definitely not. Have you ever looked for parents of babies on Facebook? She replies, yes, I have. Just give me a second to wet the old whistle. Mr. Myers again. We've seen various Facebook searches in evidence, Miss Letby. You've seen those on the sequence of events, haven't you? She replies, yes. How regular a Facebook user were you? She replies, oh, daily. I was always on my phone. Just for the parents of some of the children on this indictment or other people? She replies, no, for anyone that I might meet or come across. Anyone you might meet? She replies, yes, literally like that. She replies, well, he then says, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just asking, is it literally anyone you might meet? You would look at them on Facebook? She replies, potentially, yes, just out of curiosity. So what sort of people would you look at on Facebook? She replies, other colleagues at work, people that I might have met at Salsa Group, just anybody really. When you've looked at parents of babies on Facebook, is there any reason or reasons why you've done that? She replies, I just think general curiosity, and they've been on my mind. Have you only ever looked for parents relating to this indictment or other parents of babies? She replies, no, I've looked at other parents as well. We're going to look at some material which is introduced, my lord, with the agreement of the prosecution. It's a schedule relating to Facebook. I'd be grateful for Miss Clancy's assistance. There's an agreed fact to read, and then we'll go to the schedule and go through parts of it with you in front of the jury, Miss Letby. My lord, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask that the admission follows in the form of admissions. Schedule sit right, forward that. The best thing would be, I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, to go behind Divider 3 in Jury Bundle 1, which is where the admissions are, and to go to admission 61 in there, which we'll read into the record, and then we'll have a look at the schedule. We'll start just by reading the Agree Fact 61. Have a look at that, please, Miss Letby. It's just underneath the schedule. It says, the contents of defence document Exhibit D27, entitled Facebook Searches by Lucy Letby, June 2015 to June 2016, are agreed. So that basically means it's agreed between the prosecution and the defence, I would imagine. Then if we put the searches behind that, that document is the one that you have. I'm grateful, Mr. Murphy. We can follow it on screen as well. We'll go through some of the entries here, if we may, please. I'll read the first part of this. Have you all got that filed away, ladies and gentlemen? I'll go through the wording, Miss Letby, and then we'll actually have a look at some of the content. Not everything, but some of the content. Facebook Searches by Lucy Letby, June 2015 to June 2016. The table below shows 1. Facebook searches for parents of the children on the indictment, marked in red, for the period between June 2015 and June 2016. Number 2, additional Facebook searches made by Lucy Letby for the same period on those specific days, where the searches are made for parents of children on the indictment. Number 3, entries with asterisks explain the category of search that was made by Lucy Letby and preserve anonymity. 4, a monthly breakdown of the total number of Facebook searches made by Lucy Letby between June 2015 and June 2016. You'll see that at the end of each month, ladies and gentlemen, when we go through it, in addition, it says, I think that's supposed to say, it is accepted that throughout the period, the 1st of June 2015 to the 30th of June 2016, Lucy Letby regularly used Facebook to search for 1, the parents of children other than those on the indictment, 2, colleagues on the neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester Hospital, both nursing and clinical colleagues. Number 3, social and non-work related matters. So that's what this schedule is. And Miss Letby, do you follow that? She replies, yes. So it doesn't include by any means the entirety of the searches over this period. It includes searches by you in the same period on the specific days, where children have been identified or parents of children on the indictment. She replies, yes. So let's just go and have a look through this now, please. Page 1. It may be a lot of me reading parts of this and then asking you questions, Miss Letby. We have on June the 9th, 2015, 9:57. Other mother of child from Liverpool Women's Hospital neonatal unit. So I'm guessing she searched here for a mother from the Liverpool Women's Hospital, which is clearly not part of the indictment. As the jury will understand, so far as possible and appropriate, we haven't gone into the personal details of everybody because privacy is preserved as far as possible with this. That was followed a minute later by a search for the mother of child A and B, who is child A's mother. And then 2 minutes later by a search for David Harkness. Going back to June 2015, if you can, do you know why you would have been looking at 9:57 for, quote, other mother of child from Liverpool Women's Hospital? Do you know why you would have done that? Do you know why you would have been? She replies, just curiosity. They were obviously on my mind at that point. Mr. Myers then says, Was it unusual for you to look up the parents of a child that you'd been involved with or cared for? No. Or at a hospital where you'd worked? She replies, no. This is the morning following child A's death. Are you able to tell us why it was that you were looking for the mother of child A and B, his mother, at 9:58 on June the 9th? She replies, just that she was on my mind at that point. David Harkness, 2 minutes later? She replies, the same. If we carry on that day, we can see there's a number of searches relating to individuals under the category of social. What sort of people would come under that category? I'm not asking for their names, but how would you encounter people that we're referring to as social? She replies, that's friends from school, friends from university, people that I had met through the gym or through Salsa, a wide variety of people. If you met somebody at Salsa, for instance, who you'd not met before, would you be interested to look them up? She replies, yes. You sound definite about that. Is that something you did? She replies, yes, it's just general curiosity, I think. I'm of the type where we do a lot on our phones, and yes, I would out of interest look up a lot of people, yeah. And carrying on down the page, the 10th of June, 2113, other mother of child from Liverpool Women's Hospital, NNU. So not related to a parent of a baby on this indictment. Excuse me. But why would you be looking at whoever that was? She replies, again, it's just curiosity. Going over the page, please. Thank you. If we go to the top of the page, we've got at 22:33 on the 10th of June, 2015. The top entry is for the mother of child A and B. This is later on the day that this is later on the day after child B's episode. Why would you be looking at the mother of child A and B? She replies, again, she's on my mind. 1 minute later, other mother of child from Countess of Chester Hospital. So again, another search for a different mother from the Countess of Chester Hospital who wasn't on the indictment. So another mother of a child from the Countess of Chester neonatal unit, nothing to do with this indictment. She replies, yes. What's happened there just 2 minutes later? Why are you looking at someone else like that? She replies, again, it's just general curiosity, flicking through a lot of different names at different times. Mr. Myers then says, if we skip forwards, not all entries are here for June, but just to look forwards from there, the 14th of June, a couple of lines down, we've got at 10:20, a mother of a child from Liverpool Women's Hospital. At 15:52, the mother of child C. And at 15:52, also the father of child C, who are also child C's parents. Why would you be looking for them? She replies, again, it's just general curiosity. Is it unusual for you to look for people who have crossed your mind for whatever reason? She replies, no, I do it frequently. It's just normal behavior for me. For you? She replies, yes. And we can see the 14th of June 2015 at 17:14, other mother of a child from Liverpool Women's. Then a few lines down, moving forwards, the 25th of June 2015 at 11:42, other mother of child from the Countess of Chester. The judge, Mr. Justice Goss, then says, could I just ask on that page, other mother of child from Liverpool Women's Hospital, is that the same mother or are these different mothers? That's quite an interesting point. Mr. Myers replies, some are duplicated, some are the same mother, and some are inevitably different. They're not all different. Mr. Justice Gostin says, no, but I mean, we can see this. I'm going to have a few questions about some of these in any event, but just so that we know. So if there is one particular mother that is being asked, if there is the same mother of child from Liverpool Women's Hospital, is it that one that's being looked at on Facebook, or are these all different mothers? Mr. Myers replies, no, they're not all different. A number of them repeat, either socially or where it says mother of, other mother of a child, or what have you. But a number of them repeat. So I guess it doesn't really answer the question, does it? Are these all individual mothers that she's searching for? Do some repeat? It's not, they're not all individual, are they? But how many are the same person? It doesn't actually say, does it? But the underlying information, so your lordship knows, is available to be used as required by the defence, the prosecution, or indeed in answer to your lordship's questions. But at this point, after careful consideration, presenting it with a minimum of intrusion into people's identity was the way that this was presented. Mr. Justice Goss says, yes, I can understand that. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt you. Right, I guess he's going to go further forward now. Still discussing that. Okay, if we look towards the end of that day, Miss Letby, we've got searches after a number of social searches later in the evening for the mother of child A and B, the mother of child D, and the father of child D. Mother and father of child D being the parents of child D. Any particular reason why you'd be looking for them at that point? She replies, no, again, it's just a pattern of behavior. They're on my mind. I'm just searching for lots of different people. In the case of the mother of child D, the mother and father of child D, those searches come within a couple of days of child D dying. Is that in any way relevant to why they were on your mind at that point? She replies, yes, because it's a significant event. We can see the total number of searches for June. There are 113, of which these are part. She replies, yes. July, 70 searches. Do you see that? We can move on to August 2015. On the 6th of August, a number of searches, a reference at 12:31 to mother of a child from Liverpool Women's Hospital. Can you see that? She replies, yes. Then Team AL at 12:42. What's Team AL? We don't need the name necessarily, but could you explain what hashtag Team AL was? She replies, I'm not sure at the minute. Right. Was the unit ever involved in activities to raise funds for anything? She replies, yes. What sort of things would funds be raised for from the unit? She replies, so for equipment for the unit or predominantly to save for the new building, so the new unit was recently rebuilt. Then Mr. Myers says, in terms of Team AL, does that help you with what that relates to? So I guess that he knows what that is and he's trying to guide her into this, I suppose. I mean, he must know what Team AL is if he's brought up the fundraising thing. She replies, yeah, I think it's a fundraising page. And AL, the initials of a child, I should say, to assist you. She replies, yes. The mother of child E and F on the 6th of August 2015 at 1950. Do you know why you were looking at the mother of child E and F or searching for the mother of child E and F on that occasion? She replies, no. Or a couple of weeks later, if we come some lines down, can you say why you were looking there? She replies, no, just that she's on my mind. The mother of child E and F, of course, the mother of child E and child F. She replies, yes. Child F died on the 4th of August 2015. That's just to help us with that date. July 2015, just go over the page, please. The total number of searches, 175. Justice Goss says for August. Mr. Myers says, I apologise, 175 for August 2015. Mr. Goss then says, if we could just go back where it says for August 6th, 2225, work colleague, is that a work colleague who's not been named in this case? Mr. Myers replies, yes. So it's preserving the anonymity of another work colleague. Mr. Myers says, yes, someone who hasn't yet been named. Mr. Goss says, I thought it was, but just to clarify. All right, I think that's fine. Let's move forward. Mr. Myers, August 2015, 2 searches out of the 175 relating to a parent of a child on this indictment, and they're both the mother of child E and F. Letby replies, I'm assuming that's Letby, yes. Some more discussion there. Right, so this is in the absence of the jury, so bear with me. I'll just catch up with the chat now while that's having a little break. Right, welcome to you all this evening. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful, fantastic Christmas Eve. Hope you're all doing well. Right, let's have a look here. Just bear with me while I catch up with the chat here. Oh, let's have a look. All right, let's answer John Lowe's question. Nearly said John Law then. I really do need some glasses. It's a must at this point. Questioning the official narrative will get you banned here. This isn't a place for discussion, really. It's totally a place for discussion, as long as people are polite and respectful. I've got no issues at all with people discussing Lucy Letby's potential innocence, anything like that whatsoever. I mean, why would I be covering her defense evidence in chief if, this was all about her guilt? At the end of the day, I'm just covering the trial. I'm giving you the facts as told in court, which is, it's there's no opinion here. There's no opinion from me, no opinion, interjected or injected into these videos. It's simply a narration of a factual event. My opinion, everyone's opinion on this is completely worthless. My opinion doesn't mean anything. The people's opinions on Twitter doesn't mean anything. It's just an opinion. It's not going to change what happened in this case. So that's why I don't tend to go on massive rants or talk about Lucy Letby's guilt or innocence for days on end. I just show you the facts. I've spent a great deal of money out of my own pocket to provide the public with the official version as to what happened during the trial. Not to say, Lucy Letby's guilty or Lucy Letby's innocent, just to provide people with the facts. As simple as that. It really doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me whatsoever whether Lucy Letby is guilty or innocent, because all I'm doing is covering what happened during the trial. Now, you could say, well, why don't you just cover Lucy's innocence or her defense? But why would people be interested in one side of it? At the moment, I've covered a massive amount of the prosecution stuff, and I'm now working my way through the defense side. I'm only one person. There's only one person who works for the channel. As much as I'd like it to be 10 people pushing out videos every day of the week, or twice, 2 or 3 times a week, or 2 or 3 times a day, I should say, that's just not possible. These videos take so long to make. For instance, recording a 20-minute video, even like the defense one, the recent defense one, that would take something like 6 or 7 hours just to get the audio done, and possibly 3/4 of the editing. So, it's not about an opinion. It's not about me pushing this, that, and the other. I don't push an opinion. These are the facts as told in court. This is the trial of Lucy Letby. What's said in court is beyond my control. I'm just telling you what happened. It's that simple. Right, let's carry on. I don't think she's going to get her nursing position reinstated, though, Danny. I think that might be a bit of a push at the current time, but you never know. You never know. Like I say, John, I can't see the chat when I'm actually narrating. It's on full screen because I'm half bloody blind. I'm trying to read, I'm trying to get this accurately or put it out accurately. But to the moderators, don't ban anybody or block anybody if people just have an opinion in terms of, I believe she's innocent. This isn't about silencing people or shutting people down. If someone comes in and says, this bloke's a total tosser, then of course, ban them. Rudeness, disrespect towards me or any of the moderators simply is not tolerated on this channel. You'll just get banned. If you come in and you want to have a discussion about the case or Lucy Letby's potential innocence, there's no problem with that at all. No problem. Yeah, like I say, Patricia, I mean, the reason I got the transcripts is because, like I say, I attended the trial myself. Manchester for me is like a 7 or 8 hour drive. I used to drive up there 2 or 3 occasions. I attended. There was a jury member who was sick, so I made a 14-hour, best part of a 14-hour drive, in combination. And I got to see absolutely nothing. That happened to me on 3 or 4 occasions. I even got there one day. It got to lunchtime, and then one of the jury members was rushed into emergency surgery. And yet I still went back because I was interested in the case, and I knew that this case in particular would be a landmark case for this country. So from there, I feel it's important that people don't just get the live reporting. People don't just get what people are putting on Twitter or magazine articles or newspaper articles. Read the facts of the case. If you read the facts and you believe she's innocent, fantastic. If you read the evidence and you believe she's guilty, absolutely fine. That doesn't bother me. It's not about convincing people. It's about presenting the trial as it was, giving people the fullest amount of information as I possibly can. That's what I find interesting. It's not about twisting things or putting a certain spin on it. Otherwise, I'll be making 20-minute videos every night, wouldn't I? Going through stuff saying, oh, yeah, this means that. This means this. This means that. I don't do that. I simply read the information and try and put it out there in the public domain so people can get a fuller picture of what actually took place during the trial, which is the important part, isn't it? Providing the actual facts of Lucy Letby's trial. I already got called a fool by a mod, and I cannot condone that behaviour. So whoever called Ant a fool, I would like you to retract that immediately, unless I find something that deserves that. As I scroll back here. Oh my God. That was Terry. I see it. It's Terry Stamper. Right, as I say, to the mods, don't ban anybody who talks about her innocence. If people are rude and disrespectful, that's completely different. But people who want to discuss her innocence or put forward reasons why they believe her to be innocent, I don't have an issue with that. No issue at all. Right, anyway, let's carry on, shall we? Let's carry on. Where the hell did I get to? I think the top of this page. So when I put it full screen, I can't see the chat, all right? So, you know, say whatever you want now because it's gone full screen. Right, let's have a look here. Where did we get to? Was it this part? Take a few minutes. Oh, yeah, so it was near German, then they had a little break. All right, let's have a look. Okay. In the presence of the jury. Okay. Mr. Myers again. Miss Letby, members of the jury, we were at page 3 of the schedule, and we just looked at the total number of searches for August. If we look at September, which is on the screens in front of you there, we can see that the total searches, looking at the end of it for September, are 209. Excuse me. So we've only got a few of them in this schedule, haven't we? Lucy replies, yes. All right, if we just go to the lower part of the entries we've got on the 21st of September 2015, we can see 0113, Mina Lapalainen, her name is there. And then also searches for Miss Lapalainen at 0658, 1415 and 2112. Miss Lapalainen was a friend of yours, wasn't she? She replies, yes. And a good friend of yours? Lucy replies, yes, a close friend. And we're looking at your use of Facebook in all of this. Why is it you're searching for her on those occasions, if you can remember? Why would you be searching for her on Facebook? She replies, she's just somebody that's on my mind. She was a big part of my life. And so when it's on your mind then, you go to Facebook and take a look. She replies, yes. Just below the 2112 Mina Lapalainen entry, there's one for 2230 and it says AB appeal. Can you see that? She replies, yes. Do you remember what that relates to? I'm not asking for the identity of the person involved, but what did that relate to? She replies, that was a fundraising page for a child I had met on the children's ward during my training. All right, then we've got soon after that, 2233, a few minutes after that, a search for the mother of child G. Who was child G's mother? Lucy replies, yes. Any particular reason why you looked for child G's mum? She replies, no. And followed 12 minutes later with a search for a colleague, nurse B. She replies, yes. And again, any reason why? You can remember why you searched for her? Or can you remember why you searched for her? She replies, no. We can see, I'm going to have to ask you to speak up a little bit, please, because the microphone has to pick up what you say. No one is going to mind if your voice is loud. That is followed over the next 11 minutes with reference to other mother of child from Countess of Chester Hospital neonatal unit. Do you see that? She replies, yes. Any particular reason you can think of now why you're doing those searches like that then? She replies, no, it's just a normal pattern of behavior. That's what I would do. This is just one section on one day, isn't it? She replies, yes. We can see that with Mina Lapalainen, for instance, there are repeat searches there, aren't there? She replies, yes. And with the mothers or the fathers, parents of children on the indictment, there are repeat searches for some of them, aren't there? She replies, yes. Similarly, so we can be quite clear with regard to parents of children who are not on this indictment, where we've got anonymized entries, can you confirm a number of those are repeat searches, aren't they? They are, yes, for the same people. Right, 2 seconds, guys, hang on. All right. Sorry, I just got interrupted there. I thought it might have been something that needed immediate attention. Right, let's carry on. Parents of children who are not on this indictment, where we've got anonymized entries. Can you confirm a number of those are repeat searches, aren't they? They are, yes, for the same people, some of them. Were any of the parents, I'm not talking about the ones on the indictment, any of the parents ever friends of yours? Or did you have friends? Yes, some, yes. So some of them, and it says inaudible coughing, were friends. Is that correct? Does she mean the parents? Any of the parents ever friends of yours? Or did you have friends? Yes, some, yes. So some of them, and then it's cut out, were friends. Is that correct? She replies, yes. Not all, but some. She replies, no. October 2015, if we just go to the total number of searches there, if we go over the page, please, to page 4, the total searches for October is 173. She replies, yes. I'm going to move down. We can see it includes some searches for parents of babies on this indictment. If we go to November 2015, please, I'm going to go to the central part of that table, the lower half of the schedule, please, Mr. Murphy. In fact, could we increase before then, please, a little bit higher than that? Thank you. If we just look at that, the second entry down, 1619 on the 5th of November 2015, from 1619 through to 1722, about 10 rows or so below. There's a series of searches, aren't there, in quite quick succession. She replies, yes. Some for social contacts, some for parents or parents of a child not on the indictment. And also for work colleagues who we've encountered in this case, and some whose identities we haven't. Some whose identities we haven't had in the case. She replies, yes. Just following it right the way through, is it unusual for you to rapidly go through a number of people over minutes when you're looking at people on Facebook? She replies, no, that would be my normal pattern of behavior. They come into my mind. I quickly search, then I just move on to the next thing. Looking at this section that's open before us there, if we look at 2140, in fact 2120, we've got Elsa Simpson on the 5th of November. Can you see that? She replies, yes. She's a work colleague, we know. She's given evidence in this case. 2140 work colleague, 2142 work colleague, 2143. Then 3 of the parents related to children on this indictment at 2340, 2341, and 2344. Certainly for the first two of those searches of a minute or several minutes. Do you see that? She replies, yes. Again, in terms of spending a minute or just a couple of minutes on somebody when you're searching, is that unusual or is it what you do? She replies, no, that would be normal for me. Can we go over the page, please? Just noting at the top, the total number of searches, in fact, for November is 277. 5 of those relate to parents of children on this indictment. December, I'm not going to go through all of them, just going to look at the total, page 5 into page 6, please. The total number of searches in December is 211. Move to January, please, Mr. Murphy. Look at the total number of searches for January, 199. We have in this schedule searches in effect, bookending the searches of parents relating to children on this indictment. You understand that, don't you, Miss Letby? She replies, yes. So it's only certain dates and certain times. She replies, yes. Generally speaking, would the pattern of your searches be constant across the month? She replies, yes. Are they though? Generally speaking, would the pattern of your searches be constant across the month? Yes. Can we just go down to February 2016, please? We can see a total of 178 searches recorded for February 2016. Do you see that? She replies, yes. Only one, in fact, relating to a parent of a child on this indictment for the mother of child G on the 12th of February 2016. Do you see that? She replies, yes. That comes up at the end of a series of searches, which, if we go up, starts with Elsa Simpson at 2314 on the 12th of February. Can you see that? She replies, yes. Then there's a series of searches over the course of several minutes, yes, ending with social at 2319. She replies, yes. The searches, are they linked in any way to things? In this case, anything that you have done to cause harm to child G? No, not at all. Because you understand that's a suggestion that's being made from the sequence of events and the searches, and then with the prosecution. You understand that, don't you? She replies, yes. 2 seconds. He then says that you're looking at these because it's babies that you have hurt in some way, and it's connected with that. Is that what these searches are about? She replies, it's not, no. If we scroll forwards, please, to have a look at March and April, look at both of those, 211 searches in March, 168 in April. None relating to parents of children on this indictment. Then can we go to the end of May, please? onto the next page, and June, we can see at 2300 hours on the 29th of May. Can you see a search for the mother of child I? She replies, yes. 3 minutes before that, there'd been a search for another mother of a child from the neonatal unit. She replies, yes. 1 minute before the mother of child I search, other mother of child from the neonatal unit. Then a search for father of child from the neonatal unit a minute afterwards. Why are you searching for the people that we see here? They're just people that have crossed my mind at that time. Is there any sinister reason why you're looking at the mother of child I? Lucy replies, no, it's just general curiosity. Excuse me. The same as the reason I'm looking at a lot of people. Was it your habit to go and look at the parents of babies on this indictment if you'd gone and hurt them or done something to them? She replies, no. June 2016. Hang on a second, I've got to clear my throat, guys. Hang on a minute. That's better. Right, where were we? Christ. Is there any sinister reason why you're looking at the mother of child I? No, it's just general curiosity. The same as the reason I'm looking at a lot of people. Was it your habit to go and look at the parents of babies on this indictment if you'd gone and hurt them or done something to them? She replies, no. June 2016, 233 searches, but none relating to the parents of children on this indictment. She replies, no. So would you describe yourself, as far as you can tell, as a pretty regular user of Facebook searches over the period we're looking at? She replies, yes, very much so, yes. Did you live on your own for most of the time? She replies, yes. We see some of the searches are in the late evening, aren't they? She replies, yes. Is it unusual for you to go onto Facebook and look at people or make searches when you're on your own and you've got time on your hands? She replies, no, I was always on my phone. All right, thank you for helping us with that. I'm going to move on to a different area now to do with your house and items that were found from it. I'd like you to help us next with where you were living and when over the period that you were working at the Countess of Chester. So I'm actually going to go back to 2012 when you had first qualified and started working there. Where were you living? She replies, so I lived on site in the hospital grounds in staff accommodation. Mr. Myers says, actually on the grounds of the Countess of Chester. She replies, yes. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up if you would, please. Is there a name for that accommodation, the premises? What was it called, the place you lived at? Lucy replies, Ash House. And that's a hospital accommodation, is it? She replies, it is, yes, for staff. Did there come a time when you moved out of there and began to live somewhere else? She replies, yes. Again, casting your mind back, so take your time to think through the timings. But when did you move out of Ash House? She replies, around June 2015, around that time. Was there a time you moved out before then and stayed with somebody in between two dates? She replies, yes. All right, you first went to Ash House in 2012. She replies, yes. Did you move out to live with somebody at a date after that? She replies, not to live with somebody, but I did move premises, yes. Where did you move to? She replies, I moved to a flat in town. Did anyone else live there? She replies, no. When was that? She replies, I think that was 2015. Right? Did you ever live with any of your colleagues from the unit? She replies, no. Did you ever move back into Ash House? Yes. When did you move back into Ash House? Lucy replies, towards the end of 2015. All right, I'm going to see if I can help you with something. I'm going to ask if we could put up the page of your 2015 diary. It's exhibit page J355, please. Mr. Murphy, this is the 2015 diary. We have heard there were 2 diary entries when the police came to your house that were seized, one for 2015, one for 2016. This is the 2015 diary. Can you see it says Monday the 1st of June, asterisk, Ash House? Lucy replies, yes. Does that help you with dates when you moved back to Ash House after you'd moved out? She replies, yes. When did you move back? She replies, so that would be on that date, the 1st of June. Right? So you'd started off living at Ash House, then you moved out at some point to a flat elsewhere, and then you moved back in on the 1st of June 2015. Is that right? Lucy replies, I think so, yeah. And then Mr. Goss says, it's not a memory test of Mr. Myers, do you remember how long you've been living away from Ash House before you went back? How long did you stay at this other place? About, she replied, about 6 months. So maybe you moved out of Ash House, then that would be sometime in the middle of 2014. Lucy replies, I could be, I'm not 100%. Or late 2014, I'm not 100% sure of the dates. Then you move back in on 2015, June. If you just look across from there, can you see it says Jen's hen party, York, the 5th of June? She replies, that was Jennifer Jones Key, who was a nursery nurse on the unit. That was her hen weekend, which I went to. Mr. Myers then says, right, so that was about the end of the week after you'd moved back to Ash House. She replies, that's right. We know that when the police arrested you the first time, you were living at an address at 41 Westbourne Road in Chester. She replies, that's right. Do you remember when it was that you moved to that address approximately? She replies, it was around April 2016. Is that a house that you bought? She replies, it was, yes. I'm going to ask if we could just put up an image from the prosecution images at page 16, please. This is again with the diary, just to help with the dates, Miss Letby. It's page 16. Again, images we have from the prosecution. Can you see this is the diary now for 2016? We can't see the date on it, but it is the 2016 diary. And we can see on Tuesday, the 5th of April, it says, out of Ash H. Lucy replies, yes. So we know you'd gone back into Ash House on the 1st of June 2015, and on the 6th of April 2016, it says, out of Ash H. She replies, that's right. So where were you moving to then? She replies, that was when I moved into the property in Westbourne Road. And that's the house that I bought. And that's where you were living at the time of the arrest, is it? The first arrest? It is, yes, which took place in July 2018. Just with regard to what was happening around this time, I'm going to go to some messages that we actually had on the child L sequence of events, just to do with you moving house so we can put them in context. I'm going to ask if we could go to tile 48, Mr. Murphy, to several tiles, Miss Letby. This is from you to Nurse E on Friday, the 8th of April, just a couple of days, 2 or 3 days after the entry in the diary, and you're saying, unpacking stuff everywhere, lol. May do extra shift over weekend. It may be obvious to us now, but what's that relating to? She replies, that's relating to me having moved into the house and I'm unpacking. Could we go forwards to tile 57, please? It's Sophie Ellis to you on Friday, the 8th of April, saying, how's the house, pal? And 58, please, Mr. Murphy. You reply, hi. It feels a bit weird having a whole house, but it's good, thanks. Although stuff everywhere has moved in properly on Tuesday and been at work Wednesday, Thursday, and today. Doing tomorrow as an extra, so I'll see you tomorrow night. Won't be such an early start for you now back in Chester. And then you said, did I hear your grandparents are coming to see you? If we keep in mind the 9th of April is the date associated with child M. Lucy replies, yes. In fact, what was going on in your life at that time? She replies, so I was in the process of moving house whilst working a number of shifts. Mr. Myers says, how big a thing was that on your mind? She replied, well, as anybody knows, when you move house, it's a lot to take on, isn't it? So I was very occupied with sorting the house out. Mr. Myers says, yes, I'd like to look at some images of the house. Are you all right with that? I would like to put up D26, please. These are images taken by the police at the time of the first arrest or around that point. Again, just to help us with picturing this, what are we looking at on page 1 of D26? She replies, that's the front of my property with my car on the drive. Mr. Myers says, that's 41 Westbourne Road, is it? She replies, yes. Thank you. Are you all right looking at these? I think this was a time in court, wasn't it, when Lucy started crying, I think. Thank you. Are you all right looking at these? It's just quite difficult. All right, then. Can we just look at the photo too, so we know what area is that? She said, that's the back garden. And photo 3, please. Likewise. She replies, yes. Just towards the left of the photo where we can see the French windows. Is that the back of your house? She replies, it is, yes. Photo 4, please, and photo 5. All right. The eagle-eyed may notice that the green bin moved around in the course of those photos. Do you know how that happened, the moving of the green bin? She replies, no, that wasn't done by me. Mr. Myers says, no. Were you there when the police were taking these photos? She replies, no. And photo 6, please. We'll see it's moved back somewhere else, in fact. All right, photo 7, please, Mr. Murphy. Again, we've seen similar photos before. Where is this? Lucy replies, that's the garage. Could we see photo 8 as well, please? That's just the same garage from a different angle. Lucy replies, yes. All that stuff in there, is it all yours? She replies, some of it. The tools at the back wall that we're seeing there belong to my dad. He would help me out with general maintenance around the property. Did he help you? Did he help you when you moved in with things? She replies, he did, yes. So his tools are there? She replies, yes. Do you recall what's in the bags that are hanging up? Or do you not recall? She replies, I don't recall. Did you store stuff in the garage? She replies, I did, yes. Let's go inside then. Photo 9, please, Mr. Murphy. What are we looking at here? She replies, that's the downstairs, the living room and dining area. The French windows at the end, are they the ones we could see looking in from the garden? She replies, yes. Photo 10, please. We've moved forwards in the living room here. Is that right? She replies, yes. And we can see on the left-hand side, there's a door. You can just see it looks narrow here, and a doorway on the left-hand side of that picture. She replies, yes, that's the doorway to the kitchen. Mr. Myers says, all right, what about the stairs on the right in the middle of the picture? Where do they go? Lucy replies, they lead to the upstairs of the property. Can we go to photo 11, please? Is that looking into the kitchen? She replies, yes. It's a bit like an episode of Who Lives in a House Like This, isn't it? And the back, photo 12, please. Is this where you were living up to the time of your arrest? She replies, yes. Can we look at photo 13, please? Obviously, we're being careful with privacy and identities. Can you help us with that? Help us with what it is. We have a photo on photo 13, what we have on photo 13. She replies, this is a notice board that I had up in my kitchen, which contains various photographs and letters and just things that are important to me. Mr. Myers says, and this would have been in situ like this, in position at the time the police came and arrested you, the 8th of July 2018? She replies, yes, that's right. I'm in the going, don't know what I'm supposed to say. I'm going to ask you for the names of the people whose faces have been blanked out. Not the name, but who's the person in the top left-hand corner. Lucy replies, that's my cousin and godson. Your cousin and godson. And then we're just going to go round clockwise. It says, number 1 godmother awarded to Lucy Letby. That's from the godson. Lucy replies, that was something he had drawn for me. Mr. Myers says, going across the top right-hand side, there's something that says, Auntie Lucy, thank you. Do you recall what that is? She replies, yes, so those are another 2 of my godchildren. And it was a thank you note for some gifts that they'd had at Christmas. Right, moving down, various items pinned to the board. There's someone with what looks like possibly a school uniform blanked out on the right-hand side. Again, we don't require the name, but who is that person? She replies, that's another cousin of mine. Another one of your cousins. Can we scroll down the picture, Mr. Murphy? I'm not going to ask you about the cuddly toy that's hanging there. Down at the bottom on the left-hand side, this one says, Hay Festival exclusive. Who are the people in that picture? She replies, that's my mum and dad. Was it actually something from the Telegraph? Or was it actually something from the Telegraph? Or is it a kind of novelty card that's been, and then she replies, no, it's just a novelty card from the Hay Festival, which is just a festival they'd gone to. Scroll back up to where we were, just above the dolphin figure. Who or what is that a photograph of? She replies, that's a picture of myself and 2 nurses on the unit. Right, that's you back in 2016. She replies, yes. Is that the coloured scrubs that you wear when you're a band 5? She replies, it is, yes. Right, let's just stop there for a second. Oh, my God. Now let's catch up with some of the chat. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's greatly appreciated. Oh, God. Silver Fox, welcome to you. E. Jones, Stuart Brown. Wookie Boss. Or was that Bass? This is literally how bad my eyesight is. Wookie Boss. Yeah, I think that's right. Who else is there? E. Jones, welcome to you. Candy Saint Dubois. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Thank you for joining us. And welcome to you. And as always, if you do wish to support the channel in any way, shape or form, you can find out how to do that down in the video description box below. Basically, next week, we're going to be starting some private members live streams. So with more of the transcripts, possibly some live streams regarding the Essex Boys case. But there's going to be private member streams starting from next week. The public ones will still continue, but it's just about giving back to members of the channel pretty much. So if you become a member, you'll get invited personally to those private, more, I guess, intimate live streams. So yeah, but I won't be taking my clothes off. So yeah, that's out of the question. Don't even go there. JB, welcome to you. What's the beverage currently? It is, oh my God, it's a, I'm slumming it again this evening with a Captain Morgan's. Just going to have one before bed. And then, yeah, that's basically it. It's always nice just to chill out in the evening. The thing is, I don't ever drink. And I think that's reflected on the first stream I did when I had 2 Captain Morgans. And I was just like, oh no, it was actually 2 Krakens, wasn't it? And God, it went straight to my head after 2 drinks because I literally just never, ever drink. It's complete lightweight. I think it's because I'm getting old as well. That probably doesn't help. What's the beverage? Yeah, I've already just told you that one's right. So let's crack on. I've also got a cup of coffee as well to keep awake. So we've got all bases covered, hopefully. Oh, E. Jones has got a vodka. Yeah, like I say, I'm just out of practice when it comes to drinking. 2 drinks. We're in dangerous territory. Dangerous territory. Right, let's continue on then. Probably I might try and do another half an hour. We'll see how the old figures go with the views and everything. We'll see how it goes over the next sort of 20 minutes or so. And as I say, thanks so much for joining me this evening. It's greatly appreciated. I think we've done quite a bit actually. We've done about 30 or 40 pages already by the looks of this. I think we started on page 80. We're up to like page 123 now. But we'll do a few more and then we'll have another break. Right, okay, so can we go next, please, to photograph 14? So if we walk past this in your house, where you were living at the time, where is this? She replies, as you go up the stairs, it's the landing area. So landing on the stairway, she replies, yes. And the left, who's in the photograph on the left? Again, I'm not asking for names. She replies, they're the 2 cousins that I've talked about. Interesting. Is that you with them? She replies, it is, yes. And over on the right-hand side again, blanked out, they're the 2 godchildren I mentioned in the previous images. Mr. Myers says, let's go upstairs then, please, to photograph 15. Which room is that one? She replies, that's my bedroom. Excuse me. Mr. Myers says, actually, we can compare this. We could nip out of there, nip out of these if possible, and look at the prosecution images, number 2. We can see that's where, if it's possible to look at the prosecution image number 2, which is a photo of this room, but shortly after the point of arrest. So this is where you've been sleeping. I'll deal with this as quickly as I can, Miss Letby. This is where you've been sleeping at the time of the arrest, isn't it? And this is your room after you've been arrested. Is that right? She replies, yes, that was how they left it. Obviously talking about the police. That's how it was left, all right? We can see at the end of the bed, on the bedpost, a kind of pink, a bright pink cardigan, and maybe a paler pink one. On the center of it, do you see that? She replies, yes. We can see the radio on the left-hand side of the cupboards and the books on the right-hand side. And if we go back, please, to the photographs, we were looking at page 15, please, Mr. Murphy. Just with those orientation points, we can see again the 2 pink tops, can't we? She replies, yes. And we can see the books over the other side of the bed. But obviously somebody straightened the bed up for you after your arrest. Would that be right? She replies, yes. Mr. Meyer says, that'd be your dad probably. She replies, yes. Maybe that's the room afterwards. Can we go finally onto page 16? First of all, which room is this cabinet in? She replies, that's in the downstairs living area. So back to the downstairs. I'd like you to explain to us what the files are for that we can see. So if we look at the thickest one with the kind of light blue cover to it on the right-hand side, do you want to use the cursor just so you can be in no doubt what we're talking about, please, if it's working? And then it's the one bang in the middle of the lower shelf. What did you keep in that? She replies, so that was just general paper documents like passport, bills, things related to the house, driver's license. Mr. Myers says, what about the thin blue wallet above that? What was that? Or what was in that? She said, that's a folder that had the medical records of my 2 cats that I had at the time. What were the names of the cats? We're going to come to it, aren't we? They appear on some of the notes, don't they? She replies, Tigger and Smudge. All right. And then just going across from there, the bright pink wallet, what did you keep in that? She replies, I think that was just more general documents. I think it might have had some study day details in and things. Mr. Myers then says, is it unusual to have study day details from courses you've been on or training you've had? She replies, no, I've kept everything through the whole of my training. I've never thrown anything away. Mr. Myers says, is keeping things unusual for you? She replies, no. Mr. Myers says, we're going to have a look at some of the items in the prosecution images we've looked at. I wonder, just to start with, could we look at the prosecution? We finished with those photographs, Mr. Murphy. Could we look at the prosecution images, page 15? We understand that the diary, the 2016 diary that we've looked at, part of has come out of that middle, the top drawer of that middle chest of drawers. She replies, that's right, yes. Is that where you kept that? She replies, yes. If we look at page 18 of the prosecution images, please, Mr. Murphy. So prosecution images, page 18. There's no issue as to this. This has been moved now for the purposes of being photographed by the police, hasn't it? She replies, yes, it's now downstairs on the dining table. Must be talking about a diary there, I guess. So that's been moved for a photograph. The pieces of paper or the sheets of paper tucked behind the 2016 diary cover, are those bits of paper that you kept in that diary? She replies, yes. The green note we've looked at, was that in the diary as well? She replies, yes. What about the item that says Smudge behind it? What's that about? She replies, that is my vaccination record for one of my cats, or for one of the cats. That would have been in the blue folder that I mentioned in the unit in the kitchen, in the dining room, sorry. She replied, Mr. Myers says, all right. Lucy replies, yeah, that was placed there. Mr. Myers then says, let's go through some of the items as we saw them when the prosecution was showing us these. I would like to go first to page 6 of those images. I'm going to ask you about the 2 handbags on the right-hand side of that mirror when we're looking at it. Miss Letby, one is black. What colour would you say the other one is? She replies, it's pink. Pink, all right. We know which ones we're talking about. What were the handbags for? So the pink bag is what I use daily for going to work. And then the smaller bag was for more casual use, just socially. Pink bag for work, smaller bag for casual use socially. There are a couple or several notes that were taken from these, which we're going to come to. That's the significance or potential significance of these. But is what you kept in them, but is this where you kept them in your bedroom as a rule? But is this where you kept them in your bedroom as a rule? She replies, yes. We note you had been, sorry, had you been anywhere in particular shortly before you were arrested? She replies, yes, I'd just been on a family holiday with my parents and we'd just come back the day before. The notes that come from these bags, we've actually got set out at page 7 of the prosecution images. I wonder if we could just put that up next. I think it was unclear precisely which bag the notes or notes have come from. Do you recall which bag in particular any or all of these notes came from, Miss Letby? She replies, no, I couldn't say. But you accept they came from one or other of those bags? She replies, yes. Both pieces of paper have writing on either side. We're not going to look at all of this, but we're just going to look at some of it, if you're all right with that. The notes, we asked you about the notes earlier. Why did you write notes down in the kind of style that we see here? Now, anyone is going to say, or so many people are going to say, well, Lucy Letby was told to write these notes by a therapist, right? Which is a complete and utter lie. Now, we've gone through on this channel her police interviews. We've gone through 15 hours of cross-examination. We've gone through 129 pages so far of her defense. And we've already dealt with all the notes because that was dealt with on the previous episodes I've already covered. On not one occasion has Lucy Letby said, I was advised to write these by my therapist. And even here, would you not expect when Benjamin Myers is saying, why have you written these notes, Lucy? She's going to say, well, you know, my therapist advised me. Not once has Lucy Letby ever said that, right? So this unnamed source that has given information to the Telegraph, I think it was, or was it the Guardian? I can't remember. But it's a load of rubbish. It's a complete load of rubbish. Lucy Letby herself has never, ever said that she wrote these notes because she was advised to. She has never said that. And would you not fit in? Some people have even said, well, she hasn't said that because she's drugged up. She's on medication. I mean, she's talking perfectly well here, isn't she? Would you not think that when he says, why did you write this note, Lucy? She would just say, well, you know, I was advised to write my feelings on pieces of paper. She never says that. She never, ever says that. And it's really important, you know, it's about providing the facts, isn't it? Whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're whatever, it's about dealing with the facts of this case. And to say that she was advised to write them is completely false. It's a load of rubbish. Right, now where was I? Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, so when Mr. Myers says, did you write down things that you could say to other people? Right, so let's go back. Where were we? Why did you write notes down in the kind of style that we see here, Lucy? And she says, that's something I've done my whole life. I just write things down. Did you write down things that you could say to other people? You know, your therapist? No, it was just my way of processing my thoughts and emotions that I wouldn't say to anybody else. Was it written in any kind of structured way? Well, yes, you know, my therapist, you know, she has advised me to write these notes and to kind of, you know, just sort of brain dump, really. No, we're not going to get that, are we? Was it written in any kind of structured way? No, it's very much what would come into my head. It could be very just random and sporadically written. We're going to have to look at some of what's on the yellow piece of paper and some of what's on the larger piece of paper. Not everything, but it's there for you to be questioned about if there's anything I don't cover. With the yellow piece of paper, I'm going to ask if we can go to page 9 of the prosecution images first, because that's an enlarged bit of the yellow piece of paper. Out of interest, when you look at this, can you look at it and automatically see all the things that are written on it and read it easily? She replies, no. So is it difficult for you to make? She replies, it is, yes, to read through. Well, we can look at some of the details on this one. What does it say right at the top? Can you help us? The very first joined up letters. She replies, love was all we needed. Love was all we needed. Where have you got that expression from, if you don't mind me asking? She replies, it's the lyrics in a song that was obviously just on my mind at the time. And then Mr. Myers says, bye. She replies, Craig David. Mr. Myers then says, right, love is all we needed. Were you saying that to anyone in particular? She replies, no, in the note. No, these weren't for anybody to read. Again, not showing to a therapist, not being told to write them by a therapist, not being told sweet fuck all about a therapist. No, these weren't for anybody to read. They were just an outlet for me. It says under that, child O, P and R. That's the name of the babies, O, P and R, triplets, isn't it? She replies, yes. Is there any reason why their names appear there? She replies, I'm thinking of them at this time. I asked you earlier about the impact of deaths of babies on the unit. Is that something that you would have an impact on you or would have an impact on you? She replies, yes. Across from there, it says Dr. A. What does it say under that? She replies, my best friend. Is that reference to Dr. A at the time that was written? She replies, I believe so, yes. Does that relate to how you felt about him? She replies, yes, he was a trusted friend at that time. Yes. Mr. Myers then says, to the left of that, I'm going to hazard a guess. Is that love is all we needed again? She replies, yes. We're going to see some expressions like that. It keeps appearing in the note, doesn't it? She replies, yes. Why does it keep appearing in the note, if it's possible to say? And if you can't say so, but is it possible to say why? Well, you know, my therapist has advised me to write notes about how. No, we're not going to get that. I think that's just how I often write. It's very, very repetitive, very random. Just things that are on my mind will just come out on paper. There's no sort of structure. It's just a release of some sort. When it says under that, love is all we needed, and then Mr. Justice Goss chips in and says, I think it was. Mr. Myers, love was all we needed. And Lucy says, oh yeah, sorry. Well, blah, blah, blah. And then Mr. Myers, I can't do this anymore. Under that. Is that what it says? I don't want to get the words wrong. She replies, yes. What are you meaning? Or what can't you do? She said, my life at that time. So again, these are serious notes. They aren't just notes with, her shopping lists on. These are the notes that she's referring to and that were brought up by the prosecution. They're all the same thing. I can't do this anymore under that. Is that what it says? I don't want to go. I don't want to get the words wrong. She replies, yes. What are you meaning, or what can't you do? She replies, my life at that time. Right. What does it say under I can't do this anymore? She says, I think it's further lyrics, but time let us down. Time let us down. She replies, yes. Does that follow on in the lyrics from Love Was All We Needed? She replies, yes. Love was all we needed, but time let us down. Who's Catherine de Berger? Right. This is even better. This is the therapist, isn't it? Catherine de Berger. Catherine de Berger. Wasn't she the occupational therapist? So that was a lady I was receiving support from, right? Occupational health when I was redeployed. Now, do you not think, right, that when it says on the note, it's on the screen there, the jury's looking at it, she's looking at it, everybody's looking at this note, and it says, who's Catherine de Berger that she's written on that note, her therapist, right? Would she not have said, oh yeah, that's the person that's told me to write these. This is the person that gave me the idea to write these note because it didn't happen. It's a complete load of rubbish. The name Tigger, who is that referring to? That's one of my cats. The other was Smudge, wasn't it? Can you see it looks there like the word today? She replies, yes. But see, the thing is, I haven't read this and I'm not confident about what I'm saying. I know that when I go through this, there's not going to be one single page that says, Lucy Letby has said, I was told to write these. It was told to me to write these notes by my therapist. I'm not confident it won't be in it, I promise you. And I haven't even read it. I haven't even read this myself yet. The name Tigger, who is that referring to? She replies, that's one of my cats. The other was Smudge, wasn't it? Can you see it looks like there's the word today? She replies, yes. Does that say today is your birthday? She replies, yes. Who are you writing that about? Can you help us? Who are you thinking of? So Child P and Child O. Mr. Myers, today is your birthday, but you, is that, aren't here? She replies, yes. It says, and I'm so sorry. Lucy replies, so sorry for that. Why are you saying that you're sorry for that? What is it? What is it that's making you sorry? And then there's a pause. She says she's thinking about her answer. She replies, I think this was on their anniversary, and I was thinking of them. And then Mr. Myers says, and then under that, it's difficult to. What's the bolder writing? Is it TT or something? What does that say? Lucy says, where? Sorry. Mr. Myers says, under aren't here, and I'm so sorry for that. If you carry on going from left to right, there's slightly darker ink. It might be Tiny or Timmy or something. She replies, it might be Timmy in relation to a dog that I used to. All right, I think, yeah, that's Timmy. But under Timmy, it carries on with, I'm sorry that. Can you see that? She replies, yes. And can you help us with what it says after that? I am so sorry. I'm sorry that, what? She replies, sorry that you couldn't have a chance of life. You should have. Carry on, Miss Letby, you should have. Lucy replies, and for the pain that you're, is that parents? Lucy replies, I can't see parents on there. Can we scroll down? I apologise. Lucy again. Parents must experience every day. Mr. Myers, all right, this is something you're writing to yourself, isn't it? Again, are you writing this to your therapist? No. Are you writing it because your therapist told you to? No. This is something you're writing to yourself, isn't it? Yes. Yes. And what do you say under the scribbled words, the letters, probably following on from the sense of what we've just been reading, after every day? What do you follow that with? We something? Lucy replies, we tried our best and it wasn't enough. Right, so when you said we tried our best there, what are you talking about? She replies, us as a team. And who are you writing this to? She replies, to no one, to myself. Right. It wasn't enough. How are you feeling about the fact that if, as this says, you tried your best and it wasn't enough? She replies, I was distraught, really. Do you recall whether this was written at a time after you'd found that you were being blamed for deaths? She replies, yes, it was, yes. How did you feel being blamed for deaths when your writing here is that you tried your best? She replies, just devastated. Under there, where it says we tried our best, it wasn't enough, there's the words. It looks like I can't do it anymore. Is that right? She replies, yes. What does that mean? I can't do it anymore. She replies, life. What do you continue writing under that, following on from what you'd written above that? She replies, I don't know if many people will think of you today or any day, but I do. I will always remember because you should be. Right, pause there. Is this what was on your mind? She replies, very much so, yeah. Could you read through to the end of that, please? She replies, I can't do this anymore. I want someone to help me, but they can't. So what is the point in asking, hate my life? Right. Is it you that's written help in the middle of that? She replies, yes. Why have you written help? She replies, because I just wanted someone to help me. And at that point, nobody could help me. Can we go over to page 10, which is the other side of this note? The prosecution image is page 10. If we carry on reading this, Miss Letby, it says, please help me, please help me, help me. Why were you saying that? Sorry to ask again. She replies, because that's what I wanted. I just wanted somebody to help me. You'd been involved with a grievance procedure. Is that correct? She replies, yes. You've been taken off the unit, yes? You hadn't asked to be taken off, had you? She replies, no. We've been over this, and you'd found that people were saying things that held you responsible for deaths on the unit. She replies, yes. How hard had you tried to look after, the children on that unit who you cared for? She replies, I only ever did my best. What did it feel like to be accused or to have the finger pointed at you for the things that was being pointed at you for? She replies, I don't think you can really put it into words. It was just devastating and it changed my whole life. Mr. Myers then says, I'm not going to go through all of this. It is here, but I'd like to ask you something. If we scroll down the page, in capitals down at the bottom, we can see the word bastards. Can you see that? She replies, yeah. We've seen lots of messages from you, Miss Letby, and we've seen lots in the notes. Some people swear with complete abandon and other people don't. Quite a personal thing, swearing. We've not seen you swearing in text messages, have we? She replies, no, that's not language I would use, no. Why are you using that language in this note that you're writing for yourself? She replies, because that's how I felt about some people. And I suppose I could use that word because it was private for me. As in, I'm not going to show this note to my therapist. Was it directed at any people in particular? Who do you think, looking back? She replies, Ravi Jairam and Steve Breary. Why did you say that about them? She replies, because of the things they've been saying about me. Right, let's move, please, if we could, to page 13, which is the white piece of paper from the bags with lots of items written on it. It's prosecution image, page 13. I'm not going to read every line of this with you, but this contains a lot of names over it, doesn't it? She replies, yes, it does, yes. At the top underneath, thank you, just underneath the triangle where it's torn, what's the first name that appears up there? She replies, that's my name and signature. Then underneath that, what does it say? She replies, please help me. What or who is Whiskey? She replies, Whiskey was a dog. My dog that I had when I was a child. Was Whiskey still alive at the time you were writing this? The reply is not audible. So why were you thinking of Whiskey? She replies, because he was an important part of my life. And then underneath that is that love was all we needed, but time let us down. She replies, yes, please help me. Just looking at that, we can see names like Dr. A, Karen Reese, Berger, and various other names you might be able to pick out. Why are you writing names over and over again on this piece of paper? Because no, we're not going to get out, are we? Because they're important people to me, and they were just on my mind at that time. I would just write about people that were important to me. At that time, I had a very limited support network, so these people were very important to me. Can we scroll down to see the remaining part of that note, please, Mr. Murphy? We've got the names Tigger and Smudge. That's your cats, isn't it? And your name written out repeatedly. Is that right? Dr. A? She replies, yes. We can see, in fact, just towards the left-hand side, near the bottom, it says Reese. And we have seen Karen Reese a little bit higher up. She replies, yes. We have heard her name before, and it's also on this page higher. Who was Karen Reese? She replies, Karen Reese was the director of nursing at the Countess of Chester, and she was my main support during this time when I was redeployed. Let's go over the page, please, to the back of this piece of paper, which is page 14 in the prosecution images. Just looking at that, why are you writing different inks on this? She replies, because it may well have been done at a different time, at different times. Have you drawn the pink love heart that we can see on the right-hand side? She replies, yes. And have you drawn and made all the other marks on there? She replies, yes. We've seen a lot about how you were feeling, and you've used the word hate. We can see the top left, it has the word love in a rectangle. Why have you written that, if you can remember? I'm assuming it's the love for the people that were important to me. Right, we can take that down. There's nothing else I want to ask you about at the moment, but it's there. We can look at it if we need to, or others can. I'm going to ask you about the diary next, please, Miss Letby. Is it unusual for you to keep a diary? No, I've always kept a diary. The diaries that cover this period are diaries from 2015 and 2016. In general, at this time of your life, what did you use your diary for? She replies, for everything, really. I would document my work shifts, any social activities, birthdays, appointments, anything really went into my diary. Mr. Myers then says, the bits of paper that we've seen that were tucked into the diary, that's not the one that we looked at there. They came from the handbags, but we'll see the paper from the diary, and that note came from the diary. How did they end up in the diary? Or what did they end up? Or why did they end up in the diary? She replies, so I put them in the diary. So at some point, I've been writing them, and they've gone into the diary. In the 2016 diary that we looked at in particular, reference was made to some of the babies in this case. She replies, yes. So why would you make reference to one of the babies in this case, or any baby in your diary? I would sometimes write down significant events that had happened or something that stood out in terms of something unusual or a training opportunity on the unit. Mr. Myers says, right, let's have a look at page 16 if we could in the prosecution images. This is the one that's included in the presentation that we have here, and it deals with the period 4th of April through to the 10th of April 2016. There's a period that covers the time of the events or events that we're looking at with child L and M. Do you follow that, Miss Letby? She replies, yes. What I'm going to do is actually, with your assistance, take a period of about 5 pages before and 5 pages after this, since we have that diary, just to look at what was in that. Are you okay if we start with that? We'll just go through a number of weeks to see the type of thing that's in your diary. She replies, yes. Bookending this, I'm going to ask Mr. Murphy if we could go to page 412 from the exhibits. We'll find the flip. We'll need to flip that round. So this starts the 29th of February. That's the date there, 2016. Just going through this, where it says Tuesday, and then is that St. David's Day? Is that something that's faintly that you've written in next to that? ID or something? She replies, I think that's long day. LD? She replies, yes. Mr. Myers says, long day. Why would you have written that in? She replies, so sometimes I would write in requests that I had made for shifts to work. So it may have been that that's originally what I thought I was going to be working, and it's changed. Mr. Myers then says that then for Wednesday the 2nd, it's got salsa. Salsa. That might be obvious. I won't keep asking why whenever we see salsa. But just for this first time, why have you written salsa in there? She replies, I would write down when salsa classes or there are parties that we go to. So I just write down when it was happening. That's something you enjoyed doing? She replies, yes. Was it something you did regularly? She replies, yes. Did you have friends there? She replies, yes. The N under salsa, what does that stand for? She replies, night shift. Then the following day, Thursday the 3rd, we've got N. Can you see that? She replies, yes. Not going to read out all the names that we see when we see them, but there's a name beginning with a K there. She replies, yes. Can you see that? Thank you, Mr. Murphy. She replies, yes. Who does that relate to? What kind of person is that? She replies, that's a patient on the unit. And why is that in the diary? She replies, because something unusual, significant has happened, or I've done something related to training that I've documented. Mr. Myers then says, and why would you put it in? Because attention has been pointed to where you put names in, some names. So why would you put the name in if it was something unusual or some training? She replies, just for my own reflection and development, really, tracking things that I'd done in my career. And then on Friday, we see the same next to N. She replies, yes. Mr. Myers says, is that the same reason? She replies, yes. Right, let's have a little break here for a second. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, dear. I see people are still debating in the old chat box here. I'm a prolific note taker in notebooks. I don't know. Was a massive note taker at school. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the notes aren't really, I don't find them that important, to be perfectly honest. But it's when you've got mainstream newspapers telling lies, and then people read that article and they think, oh yeah, that explains it. That explains why she's written these notes, because she was told to by her therapist. Yet it's been completely and utterly debunked. Completely and utterly debunked. But anyone who finds out about this case, anyone who's thinking about this case or finding out about this case now, it's like I watched about 20 seconds of a TikTok video the other night. Some girl was doing some live stream on there, and she was saying, yeah, well, she wrote the notes because she was told to by her therapist, and like as if it was gospel truth, when it's not. It really isn't. So I've got no problem with the writing of the notes. I've got a problem with people lying and people telling absolute bullshit. If this person's innocent, we don't need to make up excuses for why people are doing things. It should be very evident, There shouldn't be a need to create stories around stuff. And why that actually appeared in the newspaper, they clearly haven't checked the source of their facts at all. I mean, who is this unnamed source? Doesn't tell us much, does it? All we know is that it's a complete load of rubbish. Let's have a look here. Thank you, Isabel. Much appreciated. Shoraday, Lawrence, Napton, Hammond, Sweeney, etc., and nothing more than shameless, innocent fraudsters. I did see some guy was trying to raise £30,000 to create a podcast. Now think about that. Think about all the money that I've spent on these transcripts. And then you get someone who comes along who hasn't spent a bloody penny on finding out what this trial is actually about and tries to raise £30,000 to create a podcast. That is insane. Absolute insanity. Crazy. Right, let's have a look here. We've been going for like 1 hour and 28. I can't honestly believe we've done this much tonight. I might even try and get another 30 minutes in. We'll see. We'll see how we go. And like I say, I've got no problem with these notes. I'm not trying to say that these notes mean this, these notes mean that. It's just people lying about why she wrote them. Why would you lie about that? Why has someone come forward and put that in a newspaper where people read that? The thing is, the newspapers don't have the transcripts. This is the problem. So I can debunk all this crap because I've got the transcripts, yet they haven't. So that's where there's a bit of a disconnect in the information, isn't there? Because they haven't got the information. They're putting out something as factual information in the mainstream papers, and yet I can disprove it. I think that's the frustrating part. I think that's the frustrating part about it all, is that it's easy to disprove when you have the information to hand. But most people don't have this, do they? Most people don't have the transcripts. Most people didn't attend the trial. So, I kind of feel like it's my duty in a way to put the facts of this case out into the public, to stop this sort of misinformation, this bullshit spreading that is continually happening. Who's that? Isabel, thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Don't know if we can scroll back up there. I didn't see that. Bear with me. 2 seconds. Can't even bloody see it on my screen for some reason. Thanks for that, Isabel. Much appreciated. And like I said earlier on in the video, this isn't about, this isn't a Lucy Letby witch hunt. This isn't about, I want this person to be guilty. I couldn't care less if Lucy Letby's innocent or guilty. Doesn't bother me at all. Do you know what? It'd be and I was saying this to someone earlier. It would be far more lucrative for someone to discuss conspiracy theories on this case and discuss Lucy Letby's innocence rather than just presenting the facts. But actually, I feel that the facts are far more important. It's important that we go through these transcripts. It's important that whether you believe she's innocent or guilty, that you have the full facts as to what happened inside those 4 walls. Because you can't rely on newspapers. You can't rely on bloody GMTV, this, that, and the other. You can't rely on podcasts. You can't rely on newspaper articles from America. You either have to be there yourself or you have to have a transcript of what took place. There's no other way of knowing the facts. So that's the reason why I make the videos. It's not to persecute someone. It's not to keep someone in prison like the conspiracy theorist thing. It's just to present the public with the facts of what happened. People can make up their own mind if she's innocent or guilty. And thanks again for that, Isabel. I can't find that message to highlight it. I'm trying to, but it seems to have. Oh, there it is. There we go. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And if you do want to support the channel, you can find out how to do that down in the video description box below. All help is greatly appreciated. Right, I think we can do another 30 minutes. I reckon we can do another 30 minutes here. Oh, how much have I done so far? I've done 80. I've done 40, 45 pages, I think, this evening. But at least we're getting through it. That's the main thing. Right, let's wet the old whistle a second. Where did I get to? Did I get to the bottom of here? The names. Why would you have written those down? For some reason, I think I got to the bottom of this, didn't I? Night shift. Right. No, I'll just read it from here. Then could we go across to the Saturday, please? On the other side, it's got N. What does that stand for? Is that night? She replies, that's night shift. And another night shift? She replies, yes. There's 4 on the Sunday, so that's 4 night shifts in a row, is it? She replies, yes. And the names then, not names of anybody on or connected to this indictment? She replies, no. Why would you have written those down? She replies, for the same reason as I've said, something's happened that was significant or something I wanted to document and that I've learned from on that day. Mr. Myers then says, when you say something's happened, so there's no misunderstanding, what are you suggesting there's something sinister when you say something's happened? She replies, no, I mean something that stands out. So it's something that maybe I could use as a reflection going forwards, a skill that I might have used for the first time, or more things like that for me to reflect on babies that I've cared for with different needs. Mr. Myers says, under notes, it's got some asterisks. And it says in the pink ink, skin patch test. If you can remember, what would that relate to? Skin patch test. She replies, I'm not, probably, I think it might be a hairdresser's thing. Then Benjamin Meyer says, go over the page, please, 413. Tuesday, the 8th of March, it says Stretton Fox at 12 o'clock. Lucy replies, yes. What does that refer to? She replies, the Stretton Fox is a pub that a few of the girls used to meet up for lunch. That's just a reference to that. I met some people for lunch there. When you're not working? She replies, yes. What does it say under that? Something email? It may not be email. She replies, forms arrived. Mr. Meyer says, do you know what the forms are relating to? What was going on in your life at this point? She replies, excuse me, maybe in relation to the house purchase. Mr. Myers again, because we know you move into the new house around about the 5th or 6th of April, don't you? She replies, yes. This is now about a month before March. She replies, yes. So salsa and hair and beauty works. Is that an appointment on the Wednesday? She replies, yes. Then we've got Ellie G. Who would that be? Lucy replies, I went to see Ellie Goulding in concert and stayed at the 30 James Street Hotel. Isn't it funny that you've even got people who think that I create these transcripts? It's a crazy world, isn't it? You've literally got people who think that I make these transcripts. I sit here all night writing out a plot and, I'm writing out the details. I'm creating the transcripts myself. So apparently I would have known that Ellie Goulding was in concert, and there's a hotel called the 30 James Street Hotel, apparently. Benjamin Myers then says, is there any fixed pattern to what colour ink you happen to use for which entry when you're keeping your diary? She replies, I tended to use blue for work-related things, but otherwise, no. Mr. Myers, thank you. So AL across the top of this week in blue, what would that stand for? She replies, that's in reference to that I'm on leave from work. So I'm on holiday, annual leave. Mr. Myers, right. If we just look at Sunday the 13th, it says Mum and Dad house, 11 o'clock. What does that relate to? Lucy replies, I think that's Mum and Dad coming to view my house with me. Mr. Myers, are you all right if we just carry on for a few more of these, perhaps until we get to the end of this sequence? Lucy replies, yes. If we pop over the page then to page 414, we can see under Monday the 4th of March, it's written paid full amount. Paid full amount for what? We might be able to guess, but could you tell us? Lucy replies, I think that's for the house. And then exchange the following day? She replies, yes. How big a thing in your life was it, the buying of this house? She replies, oh, it was huge, a huge milestone. Mr. Myers, and were you working nights on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? She replies, yes. Mr. Myers, keys 1730 down at the bottom. Is that for the new house? She replies, the time I collected the keys, yes. 2 seconds, guys. Just look across the page, please. Salsa Buckley, and then a word I'm not too sure about. Lucy says, bachata. Is that right? Bachata. Bachata. It's a form of salsa, apparently. Is that something that was happening on the Saturday night, the salsa? She replies, that's a reference to salsa that's taken place in Buckley, and I have ticked it, which means that I've gone, I think. Seeing your mum and dad the next day? She replies, yes. Mr. Myers, I'm going to move on to the next page, please. On the Monday, what are the notes referring to? Greencroft and washing machine. She replies, I'm not sure about Greencroft, but washing machine is obviously having a washing machine delivered to the house. Mr. Myers, right, down at the bottom of the page, what does the Gloucester Quays refer to on the 25th of April, March? Lucy replies, Gloucester Quays is a place that's somewhere I've gone to. Mr. Myers, somewhere you went? She replies, yes. Across the page, Zizzy, 1830. She replies, again, I'm in Hereford at this point, meeting with friends from school. Mr. Myers, let's move to the next page, please. Thank you. It says under Tuesday the 29th, does it say bed? Lucy replies, yes, so I've had my bed delivered on that day. Mr. Myers, all right. And Nurse E PM, who's that a reference to? Lucy replies, Nurse E. Mr. Myers, the entry's in blue for Thursday at LD. Is that long day? She replies, yes. And the Friday, the 1st, the N? She replies, yes, so that's nights. Looking across the page, nights also on Saturday and Sunday? She replies, yes. So is that in effect 4 duties in a row? She replies, yes. If we go, please, to the next page, which is the page we started at with the prosecution image. We're familiar with this now. Tuesday, the 5th of April. You can confirm for us, is that you moving out of the hospital accommodation? She replies, it is, yes. And you moved into 41 Westbourne Road around this time? She replies, that's right. Mr. Myers, a long day on the 6th with salsa. And then it says long day, and then there's a name on Thursday, the 7th. Can you see that? She replies, yes. Is that a baby you cared for? She replies, yes. Why is that name in there? She replies, again, something has stood out with that baby. That's just something you did, is it? That? She replies, yes, it's just for my own reflection. And the 8th, we can see LD twins. And also across the page, if we look at both of these, LD extra twins resus. Those both coincide with child L and M, don't they? She replies, yes. Is that who that refers to? She replies, yes, it is. Yes. Can we go to the next page, please? Just a handful more pages, Miss Letby. Then we're done going through this, and we'll have a break. So that's all right. The 12th, Amy, Nursey, Laura. Can you help us with that? She replies, they're friends that came round to the house at that time. Excuse me. Mr. Myers, is that Amy from work? She replies, no. Is it Nursey from work? She replies, Nursey is from work. The other two aren't. If we look down at the Wednesday, where it says Mina 1400, that refers to Mina Lapalainen? She replies, yes. Then the other duties are marked on this page, aren't they, on both sides of the page? LD, N. Lucy replies, yes, I crossed through the nights because my shifts have changed at that point. So I was initially doing nights on the 13th and 14th, but obviously got changed to long days. Mr. Myers, all right. We're going to move through the next ones a bit more rapidly. Page 419, please, which is the next page in the diary. Again, appointments of your social life in pink or red, aren't they? Lucy replies, yes. And does blue tend to refer, we can see, to work commitments? Lucy, yes, blue tended to be work-related, yes. Go to page 420, please. Again, social engagements in pink, is that right? She replies, yes. Including on the 26th, Tuesday, lunch with Jen at Tatton Park, is that right? She replies, yes. Salsa in mould on Saturday? She replies, yes. Just under the notes where it says various items and council, is that items you have to pay? She replies, yes, that's reminders for me to pay my car tax and council tax and Tesco credit card bill. We go to 421, please. There's one more after that, and 422. Just looking at this one, which is just at the start of May. Can you see under Wednesday, is that LD? She replies, yes. And is that a name written under that? She replies, two names. Are those names, who do those names belong to? Lucy replies, they relate to children I was caring for at that time. Mr. Myers, not children on this indictment? Lucy replies, no. And are those the same names that appear on Thursday, the 12th as well? She replies, no. So on Thursday, the one name is a student I was mentoring, and the other one is a baby. Mr. Myers, right. So as to the babies that appear, the two on the 11th and the one on the 12th, again, why did you make a note of their names? Lucy replies, so for my own reflection, I've done something with those babies, perhaps for the first time, or, yeah. If we just look across on the 14th, on the top of the opposite side, again, there's two names there. She replies, that's the same. One of the names is in reference to a student, and the other one is a patient. Mr. Myers, and why would you make a reference to the student in here? She replies, I would document whenever I worked with a student because you have to keep records of who you've mentored and when. And that's just part of my career development. Mr. Myers, thank you for going through those with us. Miss Letby. Right, they're going to have a break here. I wonder, my lord, if we could take a break at that point. Certainly, we'll just have a 15-minute break now. Members of the jury, blah, blah, blah. Right, okay. Got quite a lot covered tonight, didn't we? We did 54 pages. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Right, that'll do us then. I think I might carry on with this. I quite enjoy these. I quite enjoy going through the defence stuff. So I might continue this on the next stream. Like I say, I've got 5 full days worth of this, and we're only on page 154 of 182 for the first day. We've still got 4 days left after this. So yeah, it's quite in depth. Right, okay. Right, we'll leave it there for this evening. A massive thank you to the moderators this evening. Shorday, Lindsay H, thank you for, I've just seen you there. Thank you for joining us this evening. Much appreciated. Lenny Russell, as always, the legend. Who else we got here? Terence, thank you very much for doing the old moderating. And again, thanks, Isabel, for the £20 super chat. That's greatly appreciated. We'll probably be back, I would say, the day after Boxing Day will be the next live stream, I'd imagine. But I'll keep you updated via a post on the page, I'd imagine. Anyway, many thanks for joining me this evening. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Patrick. Much appreciated, my good man. And I'll see you again, probably, as I say, the day after Boxing Day. Have a great Christmas, everyone. Have a great time with your family and friends. And I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Cheers.